and hit your playlist in 3, 2, 1, and meet me on your mat. We're just going to get started in a comfortable seat. So find a seat that works for you. If you do have a blanket or a pillow, it could feel really nice underneath the hips to elevate the hips over the knees. And just start to find a seat that works best for you. No right or wrong here. And as you arrive on your mat, just notice how you're arriving today without judgment. Maybe you find a soft gaze. Maybe the eyes start to close. Just be here, right now. Nowhere else to be. You took your time. You took this time for yourself, the next 45 minutes. So allow yourself this time. And start to notice the breath without changing it, simply noticing. Maybe you notice how the body feels in you as you inhale, and notice what you feel in the body as you exhale. Maybe as you inhale, you notice the air coming in through the nostrils, feeling cool. Maybe you notice as you exhale, the air leaves the body a little bit warmer. Maybe you notice the chest rising and falling, the shoulders rising and falling. Simply noticing, how does your breath feel in your body without changing it? And throughout our practice today, we're going to be weaving in the theme of self-compassion. Now, you might have heard of self-compassion before, but let's define it really briefly. So throughout your practice tonight, I invite you to practice self-compassion. And there's 3 components to self-compassion. One is self-kindness, which all of us could probably do a better job at, right? It's being more kind to ourselves instead of self-criticism, self-judgment. Another component is common humanity. So we're reminding ourselves that we are not alone. And last but not least, mindfulness is the third part of self-compassion, because we can't really be kind to ourselves or acknowledge that, we're not alone in this world. We're likely not the only ones feeling this way if we're not mindful of what's going on, just aware of what's going on in the present moment for us. So as we go throughout our practice today, a really nice way to practice self-compassion that you can use on the mat tonight and also off the mat is talking to yourself as you would a good friend or someone that you care for. This practice tonight it'll force you to practice to listen to your body. There's going to be times where it might get challenging, things might heat up. Knowing when to amplify and knowing when to take it back is so important. I can be a guide, I could provide offerings, but you are your best judge of what you need in any given moment and listening to that. Now, I do invite you to challenge yourself, right? We always want to back off if there's pain or, when you need to back off. But in those moments where you're being challenged, notice what comes up for you. And maybe practice talking to yourself as you would a good friend in that moment, right? It's very different how we would talk to someone else than how we would talk to ourselves. And don't take yoga too seriously. Have fun. So throughout our practice tonight, we'll be coming back to this concept of self-compassion and this practice of self-compassion, especially as things start to fire up. So coming back to the breath. And I invite you to start to tap into what we call Ujjayi breath, also known as victorious breath. And essentially, this breath is, as you inhale through the nose, as you exhale, seal the lips and constrict the back of the throat, making the sound of an ocean, almost like you're fogging up a mirror. Practice that a couple times. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling with the lips sealed, fogging up a mirror, constricting the back of the throat. Your tongue can be on the bottom of the mouth. The tongue could be at the roof of the mouth, maybe where your 2 front teeth meet your gums. No right or wrong here. Maintaining that constriction in the back of the throat, starting to build heat in the body. And this is a breath that I invite you to come back to throughout your practice, especially when you notice the mind wandering. The mind will wander. It's the nature of the mind. And the more we can come back to the breath, come back to the movement, linking the breath to the movement, that's actually going to help us be more mindful, practice mindfulness, a vital part of self-compassion, not only on the mat tonight, but it'll help you off the mat as well. On your next inhale, at your own pace, your own time, we're going to start linking breath to movement, coming into tabletop position. There's no rush to get there. Going at your own pace, your own time. If you have any knee issues, it could be really nice to bring a blanket underneath the knees. So just as an FYI, if we're ever on our knees in practice, that could feel really nice. So make sure your shoulders are over the wrists, hips are over the knees, pressing the ground away, maybe bringing energy into your pointer finger and your thumb, really pressing through those two areas. And on your next inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone, coming into cow pose. And exhale, start to round the spine, tuck the head, tuck the tailbone, cat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, cow pose. Exhale, round the spine, cat. Going through a couple more rounds on your own and listen to your body. Maybe you'd like to take some figure eights here. Rolling out the hips, rolling out the head. Thinking what it is that you need right here, right now. Moving through one more round. Meeting in a neutral tabletop position. In this practice, we're really going to be focusing on strengthening our core and our lower back while maintaining or practicing self-compassion. So any pose that you're in, I want to encourage you, and I'll remind you throughout your practice, really engage the core, even in tabletop right here, belly button to spine. And on your next inhale, bring the right leg back, left arm forward. Maybe the right leg stays on the ground, or maybe it lifts up. Holding here and breathing. Really reaching through the fingertips, almost like you're shaking someone's hand here. Nice long spine. Taking 3 breaths in through the nose and out. Engaging the core. Pushing the ground away once more. And on your exhale, slowly lower down. Moving right into the other side. Right arm forward, left leg back. Maybe the leg stays down. Maybe it lifts up. Breathing here, engaging the core. Nice and neutral spine. We're not cranking the neck here. And breathe. 2 more breaths. Really reaching. On your next exhale, coming into neutral tabletop. Maybe you wag the tail here. Look back. Maybe you go through another round of cat-cow. And now we'll be firing up the core and linking breath to movement, moving through that a little bit at a faster pace, 1 breath to 1 movement. So on your next inhale, right leg back, left arm forward. Exhale, back down. Inhale, right arm up, left leg back. Exhale, back down. Other side, inhale. Exhale down. Opposite side. Exhale. Going through 3 more rounds, linking your breath to your movement. Starting to wake up the core. Nice long spine. Linking breath to movement. And on your last one, everyone meeting in a child's pose. There's no rush to get there. As you arrive, knees apart, toes together, sinking the hips back for a brief moment, coming into child's pose. Knowing that at any point throughout your practice, you can come to child's pose. It might be in between our flows. It might be at any point throughout the practice. This pose is always available to you, and take it whenever you need it. On your next inhale, coming forward to tabletop position, moving into side planks. We actually did these last week. So start by taking the right foot kickstanding it out to the right side. Left foot, bring the sole of the foot down to the mat, parallel to the short edge of the mat, and lift the left arm up towards the sky, breathing here. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you start to lift that left leg, engaging the core. Breathing here. On your next exhale, twisting. Left arm under right. Inhale back up. 4 more. Exhale, twist. Inhale back up. 3 more. Notice if that back leg started to drop. Can you lift it back up a little bit higher? 2 more. And on your last one, reach up towards the sky and pulse that back leg for 5, 4, core engage, 3, 2, 1. Your own pace, your time, slowly lowering down to tabletop, maybe moving through a cat-cow before we arrive on the other side. Left leg kickstands out, right leg back, sole of the foot down, right arm up, reaching towards the sky. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you lift the back leg and breathe. Inhaling here. Exhale, twist. Right arm under left. Inhale up. 4 more. Exhale, twist. Inhale up. 3 more. Notice if that back leg started to drop. Can you lift it up? 2, 1. And on your last one, reach up towards the sky and pulse the back leg for 5, 4, long spine, 3, 2, 1. Foot down, coming back into tabletop position at your own pace, own time, tucking the toes, lifting the hips into our first downward facing dog of class. As you arrive here, you may want to measure out your dog, rolling out into plank position, the shoulders over the wrists, kicking through the heels. This is about the length of your downward facing dog, and then lifting the hips up. A generous bend of the knees can feel really nice on our first downward facing dog here. Maybe you shake the head yes, shake the head no. Maybe you inhale through the nose. On your next exhale, sigh out the mouth, letting anything go that doesn't serve you. On your next inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward, walk to the front of your mat, arriving in ragdoll pose. Arms hanging, generous bend of the knees, belly to the thighs. Now grab for opposite elbows. And maybe you nod the head yes or no. Maybe you sway here from side to side. And anything that's not serving you this week that you don't want to take with you as we head into the week, let it go. Imagine it falling out of the top of your head and it's staying on the ground. Don't pick it up. Bringing the hands down and slowly rolling up vertebra by vertebra to mountain pose. There's no rush to get there. As you arrive, maybe rolling the shoulders away from the ears, palms shining forward. Engage the glutes. A lot of people might think this is a pose that, we get to kind of, lose that engagement, right? Keep the core engaged, really strong here. Arms engaged, triceps engaged. Feel grounded through the feet. Maybe you even picture roots coming out of the bottoms of your feet, really stabilizing you here in this pose. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up overhead and exhale, forward folds. Hanging heavy here. Maybe you shake the head yes or no again. Inhaling into halfway lift, palms can stay on the ground or palms can come to shins, your choice. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears, core is engaged, nice long spine. And exhale, forward folds. Plant the hands, bend the knees, step back to plank. We're going to be here for a couple of breaths. So arriving in plank, push the ground away. You are always welcome to modify plank pose at any point when we take plank throughout the practice by dropping the knees, right? Maybe even onto a blanket. Otherwise, knees lift, pushing away, heels kicking to the back, spine nice and long, engaging the core, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shifting forward slightly over the wrists and lower all the way down. Triceps right along the ribs, palms right next to the chest. Untuck the toes. On your next inhale, coming into baby cobra. Lifting the chest, spine nice and long, pubic bones are grounded into the mat, and breathe. Maybe as you inhale, you lift a little bit higher. One more inhale. And exhaling, coming down, moving through a tabletop position into your downward facing dog, lifting the hips. Taking a breath here. And on your next inhale, gaze forward, walk, step, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Maybe you invite a baby back bend here. And exhale, forward fold. Fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice long spine. And exhale, palms plant. Step or hop back. You're welcome to take option 1 for your vinyasa flow that we went through, lower down into baby cobra. Or if you'd like to invite chaturanga dandasana, we're going to move into that here. Option 2 for your vinyasa. Shifting forward, lowering halfway, triceps grazing the ribs. Flip onto the tops of the feet, straighten the arms, shine the heart forward, lifting up, core engage, glutes engage, legs engage. Upward facing dog. And on your next exhale, arriving in downward facing dog. Those are our options for our vinyasa flow today. You're welcome to take something else. You're welcome to skip it. Listen to your body. Moving into our first flow this evening. Right leg lifts up, 3-legged dog. Hips are squared. And exhale, step the foot in between the hands, coming into runner's lunge or low lunge. If the left glute started to relax, engage the left glute. And make sure that your right knee is over your right ankle here. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes, sweep the arms up, Anjaneyasana or Crescent Lunge. We're here for a couple of breaths. As you inhale, can you find length? As you exhale, can you arrive deeper into the pose? On your next inhale, reach up a little bit higher, find a little bit more length. And exhale, twist to the right. Right arm back, left arm forward. Breathing here. Maybe the gaze looks back towards the back palm. As you inhale, can you find length? And as you exhale, can you arrive deeper into the pose? One more breath here. On your next inhale, sweeping the arms up, back to Crescent Lunge. And exhale, palms down, low lunge. Tuck the toe, lift the back knee. Left arm plants down, right arm up towards the sky, low lunge twist. Really engaging the core. This is a pose where the core might start to relax. Engage the core, belly button to spine, and breathe. Back leg is engaged. Maybe you invite a baby back bend here. And exhale, coming back to low lunge. Stepping the back foot in to meet the right foot at the top of the mat. Feet can be hips width distance apart, or you can take your big toe mounds together, heels slightly apart. Your choice. Coming into chair pose. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up, sit back, arriving in chair. Again, feet could be hips width distance, big toe mounds together, heels slightly apart, whatever serves you. Listen to your body, what feels best for you. Arms could be framing the ears, palms could be at heart center. Roll the shoulders away from the ears and breathe. Can you sit a little deeper here? What about a little deeper? And as you sit deeper, can you be mindful of the breath and how you're talking to yourself? Just notice what's coming up for you. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, and move through your flow of choice, or skip it. Meeting in downward facing dog. Moving right into the left side body. Left leg lifts up, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the foot forward in between the hands, low lunge. Back knee comes down, untuck the toes, sweep the arms up, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Breathing here for a couple of breaths. On your next inhale, reach a little bit higher, find length, and exhale, open to the left side, left arm back, right arm forward. Maybe the gaze follows the left arm. And breathe. One more breath here. On your next inhale, sweeping the arms up, and exhale, planting the palms down, untucking the back toe, lifting the back knee, plant your right palm, left arm sweeps up, coming into a twist. Really twisting from our torso, right? Instead of twisting the neck first, the chest first, can we start the twist from the torso, lifting up, and maybe even coming into a baby back bend? One more breath here. Back leg is engaged. And exhale, plant the palm, step the back foot up to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhaling, chair pose, sitting back and arriving. Core is engaged, right? Check in with that core. Can you sit a little bit deeper? Maybe you pretend, or if you have one nearby, that there's a block in between your thighs and you're squeezing that block together, right? If you don't have one, just pretend you get the same effect. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower all the way down. Forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the palms, step back, take your flow, or skip it, as always. Meeting in downward facing dog. Taking 3 breaths here. In through the nose and out through the mouth, side away. 2 more. In through the nose, side away. 1 more. In through the nose. And let anything go that's not serving you. Moving into our second flow. Inhale, right leg up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step the foot through, low lunge. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up, high lunge. We'll be here for a couple of breaths as we arrive. Back leg is strong. You might find, if you feel like you're crunching into the low back, a bend in that back knee can feel really nice to elongate the spine. Front thigh is moving parallel to the mat, and our right knee is over the right ankle. Breathing here, hips are squared, glutes engaged. As you inhale next, reach up a little bit higher, find more length, and exhale, opening up to the right side, just like we did. Now you're welcome to modify here at any point by putting your knee back towards the mat, just as we did previously. Otherwise, breathing here, softening the shoulders. Maybe the gaze goes to the back hand. 1 more inhale. And on your exhale, bring your palms to heart center, keeping that twist. And now bring your left tricep to your right thigh, coming into a twist, prayer twist here. Now, again, you're always welcome to drop that back knee, right? Otherwise, keep the back knee lifted and breathe. Maybe the gaze goes up towards the sky. Core engaged. 1 more breath here. Now listen closely. Look towards the front of the mat. Bring your back left foot to meet big toe mounds together, the right foot coming into a chair twist here. You're welcome to stay in chair at center. Otherwise, meeting in a chair twist, twisting from the torso, right? Core is engaged. Breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, coming to chair. One more breath. And exhale, lower. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, take your flow or skip it, meeting in downward facing dog. Moving right into the left side. Inhale, left leg up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, step the foot through, low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms up, high lunge. We'll be here for a couple of breaths, squaring the hips, engaging the glutes, core engaged. Breathe. And notice what's coming up for you right here, right now. What's the dialogue going on in your mind? How are you talking to yourself? Can you find self-compassion? Inhale, lift a little bit higher. Exhale, twist to the left side. Left arm back, right arm forward. Maybe the gaze goes to the back palm, and breathe. Core engaged, right? This is the time where the core tends to relax. Engage the core. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't release just yet. Bring the palms to heart center. And exhale, coming into our twist. Right arm to left thigh, twisting from our mid body. Left the heel, back heel is kicking towards the back, and breathe. Remember, you're always welcome to come to the knee, untuck the toes, or keep them tucked, whatever serves you. One more breath here. On your next exhale, look forward. Back foot meets front, big toe mounds together, coming into our chair twist here. Twisting from our torso, breathing here. And can you sit a little bit deeper? What about now? Can you sit a little bit deeper? Holding for 5, 4, 3, core engaged, 2, 1, coming to chair. And exhale, lowering down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the palms, step back, take your flow or skip it, meeting in a downward facing dog. We'll be moving through that a little bit faster, picking up the pace just a little bit. Before we do, taking 3 breaths together. Inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth, maybe sigh it away. 2 more. 1 more. On your next inhale, right leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, step the foot through, low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms up, high lunge. And exhale, twist to the right side. Inhale, palms to heart center. And exhale, prayer twist. Stay here for a breath. On your next inhale, look forward. Back foot meets the front. Chair twist. Staying here for a breath. Exhale, coming to center. Breathing in. And exhale, plant the palms. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant the palms, step back, taking your flow, meeting in downward facing dog. Moving right into that left side. Inhale, left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, step the foot through, low lunge. Inhale, sweep the arms up, high lunge. And exhale, open up to the left side. Inhale, palms to prayer. And exhale into prayer twist. Staying here for a breath. On your next inhale, looking forward, coming into your chair twist. Breathing here. On your next inhale, chair pose. And exhale, plant the palms. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step or hop back. Take your flow or skip it. Meeting in child's pose. No rush to get there. As you arrive in child's pose, knees can be mats with distance, toes together. You can have your knees together. Bring the torso onto the thighs. Your choice. What feels best in your body right here, right now. And notice how your body feels without judgment. Is the pace of your breath changing? Is your heart rate changing? Do your muscles feel any different? Maybe, maybe not, right? Simply notice without judgment. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Maybe you notice the heart rate slowing down, the breath deepening. And on your next inhale, coming up into a tabletop position, moving into a mini core burn before we get into one of our peak poses for this evening. Coming into plank pose on your next inhale. You're welcome to stay in high plank. Knees can come to a blanket or to the mat as a modification. Or option 2, your forearms could come down to the mat, heels kicking back. Coming into your plank, we're going to be here for 1 minute, and I am timing us. Listen to your body here. In plank pose, we want to be pushing the ground away. We want the heels kicking back, engaging the core. And if you want to amp up the heat a little bit, pretend without actually moving your hands or your toes. Just experiment with what it feels like to move your hands towards your toes and your toes towards your hands, really firing up the core. 30 seconds left here. What do you need? Do you need to amplify? Do you need to tone it back? Take what you need without judgment, without second guessing it. Coming back to the breath. If the mind wanders, how can you come back to the breath? Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping the knees. One more time, let's sit back into a child's pose, just for a breath. On your next inhale, coming up and meeting on your next exhale, downward facing dog. No rush to get there, coming at your own pace, your own time. Inhale, bend the knees, gaze forward. Walk, step, or maybe you float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, palms down. Tadasana, mountain pose. Moving into diver's pose here. You can have the big toe mounds together, heels slightly apart. You're welcome to take your feet hips width distance apart, whichever feels best for you. On your next inhale, coming to the balls of the toes, starting to lean the chest forward, nice long spine, arms sweep back behind you, literally like you're diving into a pool, right? Engaging the arms, chest is opening, heart is opening, spine is long. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2. Can you dive deeper? 1, and exhale into forward fold. We're gonna have some fun here. I invite you to invite play. You know, a lot of times I feel like yoga can be taken way too seriously. So have some fun. We're gonna come into crow pose. We've been doing so much core work this evening that our core is fired up, and this is a pose that really challenges our core strength. So option 1, especially if you've never done crow before, I highly recommend this, or if you're working towards crow pose, take a block or a book and put your feet on it with your big toe mounds touching. So you're gonna come, it'll look sort of like this, right? Big toe mounds touching. You're gonna have your palms shoulder width distance apart in front of you. And you're gonna take the knees onto the triceps here, coming onto the balls of the toes. This is your crow pose. Now you can play here by lifting one leg off the block or the book and back down. Firing up the core, right? Core is engaged. Lifting other, back down, right? Pushing the ground away. This is essentially your core, your crow pose. For those of you who want to go for full crow, essentially from diver's pose coming down, we're going to come onto the balls of the feet, hands are on the ground, knees are going to come almost to our armpits, our triceps, maybe even up to the armpits. And you start to lean forward and maybe the feet come off the mat, engaging your core, big toe mounds together. And breathe. And notice if you fall out, how do you talk to yourself? How do you treat yourself? What are you saying to yourself? Can you find self-compassion here? How might you talk to a friend, right? Who's just practicing crow pose for the first time. And whichever crow variation you're in, maybe try and hold for 3 to 5 breaths, right? Maybe it's 1 breath. Maybe if you're there, 3 to 5, and see what that feels like. Another couple of breaths. Playing in crow. And as you're ready, your own pace, own time, let's come into a Molasses Squat. It could feel really nice after crow pose. So feet a little bit wider than hips width distance, toes point out, sink the hips down. Take your palms to prayer position and press your triceps into your thighs, really opening up and broadening the chest. If the sits bones are sinking down towards the floor, if you're really flexible in your hips, can you lift up maybe an inch or 2, keeping the spine nice and long. Breathing here. One more breath. On your next exhale, coming into boat pose. To get there, you can bring your hands behind you, or if you'd like to come into Kali Mudra, where you take your palms to prayer position touching, interlace the fingers, point the pointer fingers, reach forward, round the spine, and sitting onto the sits bones with control into boat. If you're coming from sitting on the sits bones, you can start by having your feet on the floor, leaning back, shins parallel to the mat. And this is your boat. You can experiment with having the palms braving the shins, firing up the core, and breathe. Maybe you stay here, maybe you straighten the legs, right? No right or wrong. Maybe you come back down to here, holding for 5, 4, 3, core engaged, 2, 1, and lower to low boat, lower down, hovering off the floor, spine long, core engaged, hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it all the way onto your back. Maybe you wiggle out the feet. And for one final pose, we're going to work on strengthening the back for this one. I'm just going to move up so you can see me. Come onto your belly, however you want to get there, right? Just roll over, coming onto the belly. And you're going to have your arms out long in front of you and feet long out behind you. We're going to come into Superman to strengthen our back. 2 options here. On your inhale, you can stay on the ground and then inhaling up, lifting your opposite arm, opposite leg. So here I'm doing my right leg first, left arm, inhaling, and exhale, come back down. Other side on your inhale. Come back down. Nice long spine. Inhale and down. Option number 2, you can come up to Superman, hovering over, right? Hovering our feet and hands above the ground, and you could float here. Right arm up, left leg up, coming back to neutral. Left arm up, right leg up, coming back to neutral. Take your variation of choice, and we'll be here for 30 seconds. Noticing how you talk to yourself. Is your core engaged? Are we relaxing the core, or are we engaging the core? Engaging the glutes. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering all the way down. Maybe bring a cheek to the mat. I'm going to lift my head just so you can hear me. Bend the knees, windshield wiper the feet. And bringing the head back to a neutral position. One last back strengthening pose, locust pose, which we actually did our first week together. So bring the palms to your sides, palms facing down, and start to engage the belly, engage the glutes, engage the legs, and maybe you start to lift the legs up off the ground. Maybe the chest follows, maybe the arms follow. Holding here. If that core relaxed, pulling belly button to pelvic floor, engaging the core. We'll be here for the next 30 seconds. What do you need right here, right now? How are you talking to yourself? Is it how you would talk to a good friend who is in locust pose, right? Holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, let it shake, 2, 1, and lowering all the way onto the mat, maybe opposite cheek to the mat, bending the knees and windshield wipering. I'm just going to sit up so you can hear me. Coming back to your breath. Noticing how you feel. And start to roll onto your back, make your way to your back. And bring your knees into your chest here. Maybe you circle the knees right, circle the knees left. And I invite you to, on your next exhale, come into a really tight ball, as tight as you can make yourself. And maybe you squeeze your eyes, your lips, everything squeezing in, holding for 5, 4, scrunch your face, 3, 2, 1, and coming out into your final resting position. Just softening your whole body onto the mat, feet maybe a little bit wider than hips width distance, palms facing upwards along your side. And start to soften. Maybe you soften in between the eyebrows, your third eye. Maybe you can release some tension in the forehead. Maybe you can soften the chest, the belly, behind the ears, the crown of the head. Arriving here, right now. For the next couple of moments, taking this time for yourself and being. How often do we just get to be in this moment right here, right now? And at your own pace, your own time, start to bring some movement in the fingers, the toes. Maybe you wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe you do a nice morning stretch, sweeping the arms overhead, reaching up. And coming into a comfortable seat. No rush to get there in any way that serves you. Maybe you come into a fetal position on the right side. Maybe you lift right up into any comfortable seat. Maybe it's an easy seat, legs crossed. You're always welcome to have a book or a bolster, a blanket, or even a block underneath the hips. Coming back to where we started our practice this evening. Without judgment, noticing how you feel. Do you notice any changes, any subtle shifts compared to when you first arrived on your mat? Sweeping the arms up overhead to prayer position, and exhale into heart center. As we close our practice today, I invite you to think of one thing that you are grateful for. I encourage you to think of something about yourself that you maybe respect, appreciate, and can feel some gratitude for, non-appearance related. So maybe it's feeling grateful for your muscles and your bones for allowing you to quite literally practice for the last 45 minutes. Maybe you feel grateful that you're a loving mother, a caring friend. Bringing to your mind's eye one thing about yourself you're grateful for. Bowing forward and sealing our practice together. I just want to thank you all so much for showing up each week, for donating. Thank you so much to those of you who have donated. If you'd like to donate, Crystal Cassio Nutrition at Venmo, not required, but definitely appreciated. And I just want to thank you all for taking this time for your health, your well-being. I'm going to stay on for a little bit for any feedback. I welcome all feedback, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.